7 things you might be doing that push people away without realizing it. What if some of your everyday habits were quietly pushing people away, yet no one ever told you? As we age, we naturally develop routines, behaviors, and ways of expressing ourselves. But sometimes, without realizing it, we may do things that make others uncomfortable, distant, or even silently frustrated. Most people won't say anything. They don't want to hurt your feelings. So these patterns go unnoticed, until one day we wonder why we feel out of touch or misunderstood. But here's the truth. This isn't about blame. It's about awareness. Because once you see these small habits clearly, you can gently shift them and reconnect more deeply with those around you. In this video, we'll explore 7 common behaviors older adults may unknowingly adopt. Habits that quietly affect how others feel in your presence. They may seem minor, but their impact can be surprisingly deep. The good news? They're all simple to change. And with just a bit of reflection, you can show up with more ease, dignity, and self-respect at any age. So stay with me. Let's bring light to what's often left in the dark, and rediscover how aging can be not a fading but a deepening of presence. Number 1. Complaining or criticizing too much, choosing words that lift, not weigh down. There's a quiet shift that sometimes happens with age. We begin to see more of what's changed, more of what's been lost, and more of what feels unfamiliar. And before we know it, that awareness begins to show up in our words. Small comments, quick critiques, gentle complaints. Not meant to harm, just honest reflections. But over time, those words can begin to shape how others feel around us. We've all known someone like John, a 71-year-old who loved to talk and share his views. In his younger years, he was witty and sharp, always full of conversation. But slowly, his remarks began to lean into the negative. He'd say things like, "People used to take more pride in their work," or "Everything today moves too fast," or "Young folks just don't listen anymore." At first, his family listened with patience. But gradually they started drifting away from long talks. Not because they didn't care, but because every conversation felt heavier than the last. One day, his grandson looked at him and asked, "Grandpa, do you even like anything anymore?" The words were simple, but they struck a deep chord. That night, John sat quietly with the question, and realized he had slowly shifted his focus from what was working in the world to what wasn't. The truth is, negativity, even in small doses, has a way of filling a room. It colors the atmosphere, dims the energy, and makes people cautious about opening up. No one wants to feel drained after a conversation, no matter how well-intentioned it is. But here's the good news. Just as words can bring people down, they can also lift people up. You don't need to pretend everything is perfect. Life isn't. And your experiences, your wisdom, are valuable. But the key is balance. For every frustration, try to find something hopeful. For every complaint, offer a curious question. For every back in my day, try adding, "And I'm interested to see how things are evolving now." Instead of saying, "Everything is worse now," try, "Things are different now, and I wonder what that means for the future." These subtle shifts can open doors rather than close them. Most of all, people enjoy being around those who help them feel lighter, not weighed down. They're drawn to kindness, to humor, to warmth. When your presence uplifts, your words leave an echo that lingers in the heart, not just in the mind. So next time you find yourself in conversation, ask gently, "Am I adding light or casting a shadow?" Because when your words bring warmth and wonder, people won't just listen to you. They'll look forward to the next time they hear your voice. Number 2. Ignoring posture and body language, the unspoken message of how you move. Sometimes, the most powerful things we say never come out of our mouths. The way we carry ourselves, how we stand, how we walk, how we hold our gaze, says more than we realize. Over time, without meaning to, many of us begin to move a little slower, sit a little heavier, and carry our shoulders a bit lower. It happens quietly, gradually, and yet the effect is visible to everyone around us. Slouching, shuffling, looking down instead of ahead. These small habits don't just suggest age. They can unintentionally signal fragility, distance, or disengagement, even when inside we may feel lively and independent. Take Carol, a 70-year-old who had always been active, even sprightly. She still did her own shopping, walked daily, and kept her mind sharp. But she started noticing something odd. People were offering help more often, speaking to her more slowly, even treating her as though she were fragile. At first she was puzzled. Then one day she saw a photo of herself at a family gathering. Her shoulders rounded, arms crossed, chin lowered, posture soft. And in that moment she understood. It wasn't her age that had changed how people saw her. It was her presence. From that day on, Carol made a quiet decision. She stood a little taller, looked people in the eye when speaking, and began walking with more intention. No dramatic change, just a subtle shift. But the result? People responded to her differently. With respect. With attentiveness. Not out of concern but admiration. Because posture isn't just physical, it's personal. Studies show that an upright posture, open gestures, and purposeful movement make a person appear more confident, more energetic, even more youthful. When we slouch, we look tired even when we're not. When we shuffle, we seem uncertain, even when we feel steady. And when we avoid eye contact, we can seem withdrawn, even when we long to connect. So what can you do? Start small. When you sit or stand, imagine a string gently pulling from the crown of your head, lifting you up without stiffness. Let your shoulders fall back naturally. When walking, try to lift your feet fully with each step, avoiding the habit of dragging or shuffling. And during conversations, face people directly. Let your hands be visible. Make eye contact that feels warm, not intense. Small gestures like these invite connection. They say without a single word, I am here, I am engaged, and I am still strong. Because body language isn't just about looking better, it's about being fully present in your life and allowing others to see the real you. And when you move with intention and openness, you don't just take up space, you fill it with grace. If this part resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this might be a good moment to do so. Tap the bell icon as well. That way you won't miss any of the upcoming videos we've created just for you. Your support means a lot. It allows us to keep sharing thoughtful content to inform, uplift, and inspire you. Now let's continue. Number 3. Speaking too loudly or interrupting conversations. Rediscovering the art of gentle conversation. One of the more delicate shifts that can happen as we grow older is a change in how we speak. And more importantly, how we connect through speech. It often begins without us realizing. Our voices may become louder, sometimes a bit forceful. We might speak over someone, finish their sentence, or jump in before they're done sharing a thought. We're not trying to be rude, far from it. Often it's simply because our hearing has changed and we can't quite sense how we're being heard. But while people around us may notice, they rarely say anything. Not because it doesn't matter, but because they don't want to make us feel embarrassed or uncomfortable. That's what happened with Frank, a lively 80-year-old who had always loved conversation. He was the center of every family gathering, the one who told the best stories and brought the loudest laugh. But gradually his voice began to rise. He started interrupting without realizing. Friends leaned back. Family members grew quiet. Still no one said a word. It wasn't until Frank caught himself at a dinner, noticing how people subtly distanced themselves when he spoke, that he paused and truly listened, not just to others but to himself. He later got a hearing test and, more importantly, began to speak with more intention. He waited. He listened. And slowly, conversations became warmer, more flowing, more real. That's the beauty of self-awareness. It doesn't take away your voice. It helps it reach others more clearly. You see, conversation is not a performance. It's a shared rhythm. When one person dominates, the music is lost. But when we pause, when we listen, when we speak with care rather than force, something beautiful happens. People lean in, not away. So what can you do? Start with small observations. Are people leaning back when you talk? Are they lowering their voices when replying? Do they seem hesitant to finish a thought? These quiet cues often speak louder than words. If you suspect your hearing has changed, don't hesitate to get it checked. It's not a weakness, it's wisdom in action. And in the meantime, try speaking just a little softer than you think you need to. Give others space to finish. Invite silence, it's not awkward, it's generous. Because when we speak with gentleness and allow room for others to be heard, we don't lose presence. We gain connection. And that's what real conversation is all about. Number 4. Neglecting personal grooming, the quiet message we send without words. As the years pass, it's easy to let some of the smaller things slip by unnoticed. A missed haircut here, a shirt worn one day too many, nails left untrimmed, or a once favorite blouse now forgotten in the back of the wardrobe. These little things on their own may seem harmless, but together they begin to tell a story others see even when they don't say a word. People rarely mention it, but they notice when someone stops taking care of themselves. And not because they're being critical. Often it's because they care, but they don't know how to say it gently. Take Henry, for instance. At 72, he was always the kind of man who looked put together. Not flashy, just tidy. Clean-shaven, combed hair, shoes that were always shined. But over time, something shifted. He stopped visiting the barber. His shirt, once crisp, became worn. His reflection no longer greeted him with the same quiet pride. No one in his family said anything. They didn't want to hurt his feelings. His neighbors noticed too, but chose silence over awkwardness. It wasn't until Henry caught a glimpse of himself one morning that he paused. And in that pause, he realized he missed the feeling of showing up as his best self. He got a haircut. He put on a clean shirt. He smiled. And almost instantly, the world around him seemed to soften. Not because of how he looked, but because of how he carried himself. That's the thing about grooming. It's not just about neatness or clothes. It's about energy. It's about presence. When we take time to care for our appearance, we're not trying to impress anyone. We're reminding ourselves and the world that we're still here and we still have something to offer. Studies have shown that feeling well-groomed changes how people move, speak, and engage with others. There's a certain quiet confidence that comes with clean hands, brushed hair, and clothes that feel fresh. You don't need to be fashionable. You don't need expensive creams or complicated routines. Just a few simple habits, regular haircuts, clean nails, fresh clothes, can help you feel more like yourself again. If your skin is dry, a basic moisturizer and lip balm can make a world of difference. And if you wear facial hair, a little trimming now and then can bring back a sense of order. It's not about looking young. It's about looking alive. You deserve to feel that every day. So take those small steps. Not for anyone else, but for the person you see in the mirror. Let your appearance quietly reflect the care, the dignity, and the spirit that's still very much within you. Because the way we present ourselves, without saying a word, can be one of the most powerful ways to say, I still care. If this part resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just type number 4 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this might be a good moment to do so. Tap the bell icon as well. That way you won't miss any of the upcoming videos we've created just for you. Your support means a lot. It allows us to keep sharing thoughtful content to inform, uplift, and inspire you. Now let's continue. Number 5. Bad breath or body odor, when something unspoken creates distance. Among all the things people notice but rarely discuss, this might be the most delicate of all. Bad breath or body odor, these are topics most people shy away from. Not because they're unimportant, but because they're uncomfortable. No one wants to embarrass a loved one, especially someone older and respected. And so, instead of speaking up, they take a step back. They shorten conversations. They keep their distance, gently but unmistakably. As we age, we may not realize these changes ourselves. Our sense of smell naturally dulls over time. Medications, shifts in diet, even something as simple as not drinking enough water can affect how our body smells or how our breath carries. That's what happened with Robert, a 75-year-old who had always been the heart of any gathering. He loved stories, laughter, and catching up with old friends. But over time he noticed something had changed. People didn't stand as close anymore. Conversations felt shorter, more polite than warm. It wasn't until his daughter gently suggested trying a new mouthwash and staying better hydrated that he realized what was happening. And just like that, with a few small changes, drinking more water, using sugar-free gum, and switching to a better deodorant, something shifted. People leaned in again. Conversations flowed like they used to. He felt like himself again. That's the thing, it doesn't take much to make a difference. Dry mouth is one of the most common causes of bad breath, especially as we grow older. It can be a side effect of medications or simply a natural part of aging. When the mouth produces less saliva, bacteria multiply faster, and odors linger longer. Likewise, changes in digestion, diet, or metabolism can affect how our body smells. Even clothes, if worn too many times without washing, can hold on to scents we no longer detect. So what can you do? Start by staying hydrated. Water keeps the mouth moist and the body balanced. Sugar-free gum or mints help stimulate saliva. Choose a gentle, alcohol-free mouthwash. It freshens breath without drying you out. For body care, shower regularly with a mild soap. Wear clean clothes daily, and don't forget about items like hats, scarves, or bed linens. They need regular washing too. Try rotating between a couple of different deodorants, especially if you feel one has become less effective over time. And whenever possible, choose breathable fabrics. They help your skin stay cool and fresh. These aren't drastic changes, but they send a quiet message. I care about how I show up, for myself and for those around me. Because hygiene at its heart isn't about being perfect. It's about preserving closeness. A few thoughtful habits make it easier for people to feel at ease, to stay close, and to enjoy your presence fully. And that's really the point, isn't it? You deserve to be heard, seen, and felt, not from a distance but up close, with warmth, respect, and connection. Number 6. Wearing outdated or ill-fitting clothes. How dressing well quietly honors who you are. Clothing may seem like a small thing, but it speaks long before we ever open our mouths. As we age, it's easy to slip into familiar routines, especially with what we wear. That old pair of trousers, the sweater with the stretched out sleeves, or those shoes we've had for a decade. They're comfortable, they're reliable, and they still fit, well, sort of. Over time, fashion may no longer feel like a priority. Life becomes about comfort, practicality, or simply keeping things easy. But what we often forget is that clothing doesn't just cover the body, it reflects how we feel about ourselves. That's what happened to Harold, an 80-year-old who once took great pride in his appearance. He wasn't flashy, just classic. Sharp shoes, clean collars, subtle colors. But after retirement and after a few quiet years, Harold stopped noticing. He wore the same baggy shirts, the same faded trousers over and over. No one said anything, of course, not wanting to seem rude. But people noticed. Then one day, almost on a whim, Harold put on a crisp button-down shirt that fit just right. He added a clean belt and newer slacks that sat well on his frame. He didn't say anything about it, but the room did. Compliments came. Smiles lingered. And something subtle shifted in him too. His shoulders pulled back. He stood straighter. He felt seen again. Because that's the quiet truth. When we dress with care, we signal not vanity but dignity. You don't have to chase trends. You don't need to wear what younger people are wearing. But clothes that fit well, that feel fresh and intentional, tell the world that you are still present, and that you value who you are here and now. Studies have shown that people often associate well-fitted clothing with vitality, attentiveness, and confidence. Meanwhile, oversized or worn-out clothing, even if comfortable, can unintentionally give off an air of detachment or decline. So what can you do? Start small. 1 or 2 updated pieces can go a long way. A fitted shirt in a flattering color. A tailored pair of pants that sits comfortably on your waist. A jacket that adds structure without stiffness. Even a new pair of shoes or a watch that feels special can quietly lift your whole appearance, and your mood along with it. If you're unsure where to begin, ask someone whose style you admire. A trusted friend. A kind salesperson. You're not trying to dress like someone else, you're just rediscovering what makes you feel like you at your best. Because when your clothes support your shape, your energy, and your presence, they don't just help you look good, they help you feel like yourself again. And that's something everyone around you can feel. If this part resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just type number 6 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this might be a good moment to do so. Tap the bell icon as well. That way you won't miss any of the upcoming videos we've created just for you. Your support means a lot. It allows us to keep sharing thoughtful content to inform, uplift, and inspire you. Now let's continue. Number 7. Withdrawing from social life. When quiet turns into isolation. As the years go by, it's natural to seek a bit more quiet, to prefer peace over noise and familiarity over the unknown. But sometimes what begins as rest can slowly turn into withdrawal. Days pass with fewer phone calls. Invitations are politely declined. And before long, a gentle distance settles in between us and the world. At first, no one notices. After all, they probably just want some alone time. But eventually, friends stop calling. Family stops asking. And suddenly, the silence is no longer comforting. It's lonely. That's what happened with Margaret, a vibrant 79-year-old who used to host dinners, lead book clubs, and send holiday cards to everyone she knew. But after her husband passed and her energy shifted, she stopped reaching out. She told herself people were busy, that she didn't want to be a burden. Until one day, her niece visited unannounced and said gently, "I miss the sound of you." It's a simple truth. Connection is as essential to the spirit as food is to the body. As we age, maintaining social bonds isn't just nice to have, it's vital. Conversations, laughter, shared meals, and even small chats at the grocery store keep us rooted in the world. They remind us that we still belong, still matter, and still have something to offer. So what can you do? Start with one phone call. Send a message to an old friend. Join a local group, even if just to listen. Sit at the park and smile at someone. These small steps open doors. They say, "I'm still here, and I'm open to being part of the world." And if you're on the other side, if you notice someone fading from view, reach out. Ask twice. Make space. Sometimes, people just need a little encouragement to return to the light. Because human connection isn't about being busy. It's about being seen. And no matter your age, your story still deserves to be shared. Final thoughts. It's never too late to refresh how you show up in the world. Now that we've explored these 7 subtle but meaningful habits, I invite you to pause for just a moment and reflect. The way we carry ourselves, the way we speak, the way we care for our daily appearance and energy, it all quietly shapes how others experience us. Whether we realize it or not, every day we're sending a message, not only about who we are, but about how engaged we remain with life. But here's the beautiful truth. None of these habits are set in stone. Each one of them, whether it's grooming, posture, how we dress, how we communicate, or simply how we show up, can be gently shifted with a bit of awareness and care. And these small adjustments, they can have a big impact. Maybe you saw 1 or 2 habits today that felt familiar. If so, that's not a reason to feel discouraged, it's a reason to feel hopeful. Noticing is the first step toward change. And the fact that you're here, still curious, still learning, still choosing to reflect, that alone is something to be proud of. Aging doesn't mean fading into the background. It means growing wiser, clearer, and more intentional in how we move through the world. And with just a little effort, you can continue to carry yourself with presence, dignity, and quiet confidence. You can deepen your relationships, strengthen your voice, and feel more like you, vibrant, capable, and fully alive. So thank you for spending this time with us today. We'd love to hear from you. In the comments below, share one thing you're taking away from today's video and how you plan to put it into practice. Your stories mean more than you know. Every time you share, you're not only helping yourself, you're inspiring others too. And if this video spoke to you, please consider liking, subscribing, or sharing it with someone who might also benefit. Your support helps us keep creating thoughtful, encouraging content for people like you, who are still growing, still becoming, still shining. We're so grateful you're here. And we look forward to seeing you again in the next video.